Okay, we have some fresh technicals on GameStop that I want to cover with you guys. We also have some interesting finds that are not so good news, or maybe not so good news. And then we also have some fresh technicals that I did on AMC and why I'm extremely bullish in what I'm doing with my position. So without further ado, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel, have post notifications on. Let's get into it. Okay, GameStop. GameStop correlation to the previous rally back in January of 2021. Here are some technicals that we have drawn out. As you can see, the start back here, which primed GameStop for this move in this green zone, had the same exact thing back here, prepped GameStop for this move in the green zone, in which both cycles lasted the same amount of time, as well as this blue one, where GameStop had another pop. Same thing right here, just to a smaller degree. And then the orange part of the cycle, which was one of the longest parts of the cycles for GameStop now as well as back then. And then following the orange cycle, you had this red cycle of chop channel trading before moving higher and making a high one last time. Now, in between this orange and red cycle is when you saw this flush down. And we talked about that temporarily. This could have been the potential flush down. Now, what's interesting is these cycles end up shrinking and shrinking slowly after the first 2 to 3 cycles play out the same exact time frame. Of course, there are different catalysts this time around that line up with different dates, so on and so forth. But if we're taking a look at GameStop right here, and we are in this channel trading, we have to finish it up before ending up getting a move higher. Now, we don't know how long this is going to last, but as of right now, we could just see channel trading between $30 and $23 until we start moving higher, rallying up, and retesting between 50 and 65 bucks. That would essentially be the same exact way GameStop played out the previous cycle. Now, this doesn't have to happen, but this is something we're looking at. The only ways this doesn't happen is this T plus 35 theory that we have been covering, which June 21st would be the start of the kickoff of another rally, or July 19th would be the start of the kickoff of another rally, basing extremely high and basically breaking out of this cycle, not having a similar squeeze back to 2021. So these are the fresh technicals that I wanted to cover with you guys. Now, as far as the find, XRT.
Years and years of threshold list appearances.
And of course, XRT is the big winner there. And XRT, almost 1,700 days on the threshold list. As we discussed last time, I do believe that this is related to some kind of swap or synthetic lending. You know, the idea is that you can't get short. Some ticker in there is hard to borrow in the XRT, the S&P Retail 100. So you short the ETF, but somehow you have a long position on the basket of the other 99 stocks. So you're synthetically short that one ticker through this creation of this product. I'm convinced that's what's going on here. Otherwise, why would it happen? What's especially weird is that the SEC is so silent about ETFs on the threshold list. It was
agreed.
If you go back in time, this period of 05 to 08, which was the pregnant moment for a lot of this change, there were lots of people yelling about all the hundreds of tickers on the threshold list. But now the SEC has just been very, very silent since 2009. They have no interest in resolving this matter.
XRT is an ETF that we covered that holds GameStop and shows that GameStop is likely to be shorted hundreds of percentages. And you can see right here, XRT Holdings, the top one is GameStop. What's also interesting is this ETF has been on the threshold list for 1,700 days. This is years and years of being on the threshold list, right? Years of being on the threshold list is insane. Meaning there are dumped FTDs in this basket, and this is the SPDR S&P Retail ETF, and the SEC isn't doing anything about this. Now, we just got a brand new find that is not necessarily the best news. The T-Rex 2X Long GME Daily Target ETF, seeking daily leverage investment results, yada yada yada, basically bringing expected 200% plus performance leverage performance on GameStop when GameStop is in high volatility moments. So what is this being created for? I don't know the exact timeline on it just yet. I have to get that to you guys. But what it's showing here is that there may just be a need for another pool for these criminals, these institutions, to dump their FTDs into. Again, this basket is not enough for them, and they're opening up another one. So they're dumping their FTDs into a pool, and then once that pool is full, they're opening up another pool to dump their FTDs into once again. Moving on, before we get into into the AMC technicals, these article writers are getting desperate. Judgment Day for Roaring Kitty. 3 meme stocks to sell ASAP, and GameStop is at the top of the list. GameStop should ditch retail and become a holding company. GameStop meme stocks mania is over, yada yada yada. This is going to bring me into Chewy, ticker symbol CHWY. I just want to point this out that just in case Ryan Cohen does do something with his other companies, it may not be a bad idea to allocate some cash into these companies. Nothing I say is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but if I had some extra additional cash to throw around, besides putting it in AI stocks, besides putting it in these squeeze stocks, I would be doing this just in case, right? Some of these buy the rumor, sell the news type of deals, and people have already started. You can see volume has been increasing on Chewy, and it's making a turnaround on the weekly chart. Okay, no returned data for GameStop. More glitches happening on GameStop. It's a classic move happening once again, and we're also seeing implied volatility jump to 1,000% on AMC as well as GameStop very fast for the June 21st expiration, $125 calls. Now this is going to slightly be debunked. A lot of these have been hitting the bid side as some shareholders are selling covered calls in hopes they expire out of the money and they keep their premium. Traders selling them, also being sold by market makers to collect premium. Some being bought after close after being sold to open as they hit a high of $7.50 on June 7th and the average fill price today of only 0.02 cents. Some are just buying lottery tickets in hopes of a bump in premium to scalp. This could be the debunk matter for GameStop as well as AMC calls skyrocketing today. Don't be the guy to jump in and hold the bag with one-day expiration. That's just not a good idea. Now, if you believe this is Roaring Kitty's TikTok and this is the last thing we're covering before we jump into AMC's technicals, in the bio he says soon with a movie camera, what you could be called the GameStop logo, and then a puzzle piece. Take this with a grain of salt once again. Moving on to AMC's technicals, the fresh technicals that we have, same exact setup as January 2021 where we had this very bottom in the chart. We came up before coming under this trend line, right? AMC back here had this red setup in this red box where we hit its all-time low, came up and then broke under the channel in this yellow zone, got this prime before the move higher. Same setup right here, got this prime right up to around $4.30 before that move higher. After this move, we had this channel trade in the blue, and you can see that right here, AMC, and then you enter the orange zone with another move up, orange zone with another move up, and then green, and then red, green, and then red. Okay, so the cycles are playing out identically. With that being said, where are we in the cycle? You are sitting in the same exact setup as GameStop, the red zone, the channel trade, the chop trade, and the good news that I have for AMC is we don't know necessarily when this is going to end, if it's going to shrink, if it's going to last longer, but what I can tell you is, like I said before, AMC has a bigger move ahead of itself than it just had, and I think that this one's coming next. So I want you to prep you for that over the next month, maybe next week, maybe next 2 months. AMC looking like it's going to have a much larger move, at least up to $17.50, which is one of the price targets that I have on AMC. So I will be entering calls on AMC, dated probably at least out to August. AMC, according to Alpha Spread, is now at a $24 intrinsic value. So why is nobody loading up on the shares right now? Who knows? But this is also just something to take with a grain of salt, and that's something that we're watching right now. Overall, guys, before we cover SPY, crypto, and another stock, close out the video, make sure to press the second link in the description of the video to earn up to 8.1% APY on your uninvested cash with 0 risk, and earn up to 15 free stocks by signing up and making a deposit into Moomoo. It's a free broker like Webull or Robinhood or Fidelity, so on and so forth, that gives you access to level 2 order book data for free, access to trading options, going long, going short, viewing other exchanges, a customizable earnings calendar, and more. So go to that, open an account, and make a deposit into there. That will be the second link under the video. Again, that is for Moomoo. Top link, my custom indicator. Go get that if you don't have it yet. Level up your trading journey, and finally get in the Discord. If you guys want to level yourself up, talk with the most amazing people, stocks, and crypto all day long, we are all becoming financially free together as one big family in here. So you will learn a lot. Even if you're an advanced trader, get in the Discord, guys. We also have options trading alerts in there. I post my trades as soon as I take them, so on and so forth. SPY, all my technicals got removed for some reason on TradingView, but just like I said, expect a slight pullback today. We were trading outside of the Bollinger Bands, and the RSI was extremely overbought. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean we can't have a push higher, but we were testing the top of this channel that we're trading in right now. Don't be surprised if we get a retrace back down to 543.50 before another move higher, a potential move higher. And also don't be surprised if the SPY breaks some of the highs that we have expected it to test. Bitcoin, there's really not much to say here. Still a slow bleed. As of right now, people are just awaiting to see a huge red candle to the downside to bring us down to 54K, or that turnaround that everyone is waiting for. Either way, whatever it does up to election time doesn't really matter because I'm holding. Lastly, to close out the video, Dell, Nvidia, and SMCI collaborate to power Elon Musk's Grok AI factory, which brings us into Nvidia getting a nice pullback on the day, but it rallied all the way up to above 140, which would be 1400 before the split. This stock is just insane. Like I said, this stock loves to do these pullbacks. Don't be surprised if it turns around right here around 130 and starts to curl back up and climb. Overall, guys, that is what I got for you for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching or found value out of the video. Make sure to share the video, drop a comment down below. Go check out the links if you don't have your free stocks or aren't in the Discord. That is it. I love you all. Lottery Stocks out.